What is that?
It's my bone.
God damn it, Cartman!
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?
Holy shit, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hopefully you're listening in your ears and you're totally jacked as we are back for another edition of Check My Bows, South Park Review. I'm your host on the scene. The air is clean. And today specifically, you goddamn know I'm lighting up that green. Hey man, for another edition of Suck My Balls. As me and my boy here to my right or to my left, depending on how I edit this on the YouTube, if it's not blocked and you can see it. I don't know. We've had a banner week. I don't know if I told you about that yet either. We've had a banner week for the Check My Balls feeds as we have been blocked. Things aren't working on our feeds as we made the transition to Spreaker, and that's okay. I mean, I kind of assumed that was going to happen. Shit happens.
There's never ever a smooth transition to anything. Just look at all of our presidents in history.
No. Oh, well, okay. Well, the YouTube one I was not expecting, but I'll get into this here. So hopefully you do get to see the episode, that being episode 56 before this episode that came out, episode 57. If not, hopefully you're watching it, or hopefully you've watched some of the clips. So I've been doing some more micro content, but I've stalled here long enough. You actually already heard his voice. It's my host who's on the West, who likes to give it his best, who is COVID free, and he took that test. Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson. What's up, bud?
Hey, brother. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, belated again. Thank you so much. As we got, that's right, we recorded a couple weeks before.
Sure did.
Christmas and Happy New Year, as we actually are recording right now on New Year's Eve. You can go back and listen to Are You There, God? It's Me, Jesus review, which is up on our YouTube, or you can see the clip where we talk about God saying you are a man with titties. So check out that clip there as well.
Oh boy.
I put up that clip of you talking about Riddle Out, and that seemed to hit. So apparently we need more videos of you being an idiot. So like if you could just dumb yourself down a little bit, we might get more views. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, that's not too hard to do.
But we're back.
I need more Vagisil, goddammit.
No, goddamn it. And another week where I'm going to have to add the inline black and white graphic as our third amigo and co-host is not here. I did not realize that he was going to be in Vegas for back-to-back weeks. Had I known that, I would have just had you guys record with me another one. We could have recorded the third episode on one of those days, and we could have been totally cool with it. But nevertheless, Joe, we love you, buddy, and I know you're fine.
Yeah, I love you, Jeff.
He's fine. He's fine. He tried to make it for today, but he couldn't. He's in Vegas, so let him do his thing. He'll be back. Too bad he missed this episode because, you know, it's hey man, it's got like two iconic characters that are like, bro, and like we're gonna like talk about this episode, bro. So this is episode number 57 for us, Scoop. It is the fourth episode. Sorry, it's the sixth episode in season 4. However, it is the 54th overall episode itself for the South Park franchise. It aired on June 28th, 2000. Over 20 years ago. Kyle needs a kidney transplant, and Cartman is discovered to be the perfect donor. Cartman gladly offers his kidney to Kyle for the price, of course, of $10 million. Stan, depressed about the inevitable loss of his best friend, decides that he's going to take matters into his own hands and get the kidney for Kyle. But before we get all to that, Scoop, I'm going to go ahead and I want to start this episode right off the bat. And I'm going to break something down. And people might think that this is vengeful. They might think that this is inaccurate or it's taking it too far on Cartman's part later on down the line. But I think based upon the evidence and outcome in this episode, I think it's fair and safe to say that later on, when Eric Cartman gives Kyle AIDS, I think he's in the right. Not only am I positive, Okay.
You know, I've never actually thought about that. And, you don't just fucking trick somebody and steal their kidney. God damn it.
We're ruining it right now, but it's the fucking truth, okay?
Yes, I am back. I'm with you 100%.
You took his fucking kidney, Kyle. You fucking took his kidney.
Yeah, screw you, Kyle.
I know it was Stan's fault, and you really should be vengeful towards Stan. Kyle Cartman is never really, even from this, never continues to be the biggest dick towards Stan. He's more of a dick towards Kyle still. But that being said, he's gonna take his kidney. And
Screw you, Cat.
Screw him, Kyle. And because of that, if Kyle had from this very episode on become like the best of friends with Cartman and never like challenged him and was like, you know what, Cartman saved my life, blah, blah, that's a different story. But that doesn't happen. If anything, Kyle ends up becoming more a dick because of the transplant. It's almost like he gets a little piece of Eric Cartman inside of him. So think about that. That's some meta level deep thinking character elaboration, which you're only going to find right here. I check my bars. Maybe you'll find it on some other one. Shout out to the spirit of South Park.
Yeah.
But that being said, we are I think the premier, the cream of the crop. We are the bars of the bars. We are the shiniest bars of Check My Bars when it comes to South Park reviews. So let's get started here, Scoop, as we'll break down where our anger stems from and how Cartman and Kyle lead to these events here. Not just today, but we'll continue to tell you along the way how Cartman gets his vengeful revenge. The plot starts with a substitute teacher has come to class, as of course we remember from last week, Mr. Garrison was, he was arrested for soliciting sex.
That wasn't him. That was Mr. Head.
That was Mr. Head. Oh, come on. That was Mr. Head.
That wasn't me. That was Mr. Head.
So it starts off with this substitute teacher, and they're going through the normal schoolboy shenanigans where they pretend to have different names.
Now, being the boys, we always did this to our substitute teachers back in high school. God damn it, and they fucking hated it because we would go by each other's wrong names, but then when we would hand things in, we'd have our right name.
Eric Cartman?
Here.
All right, and how about Stan Marsh?
Who?
It's not that funny, you guys. Jesus.
Okay, and where is Kenny McCormick?
Here.
Stan goes by Eric, Kenny goes by Stan, and Eric goes by Kenny, and they're all busting out loud. Even Wendy on one point, she's like, it's not that funny, guys. And Cartman laughs so hard that milk comes out of his nose, which kind of sets up a foreshadowing.
When you laugh so hard, milk comes out your nose.
Yeah, no, you laugh so hard, milk comes out your nose. And then everybody goes quiet, and Stan goes, no, dude, normally no, that's not a normal thing. You know what I'm talking about when milk comes out, yeah, you have to be drinking milk for that to happen. Not for me, dude.
Ow. Dude, what the hell was that? Dude, when you're laughing so hard that the milk comes out your nose? Oh, man. Dude, you weren't drinking any milk. Huh? You have to be drinking milk for that to happen. Not with me, man. So apparently, Eric has the ability to not only store dairy products within his system, he has the ability to then regurgitate him out of his nose. It's almost like he keeps his own personal milk sack. And when he needs to use it for a defense mechanism or when he's tickled to humor, he lets it out. So that was Eric Cartman's explanation, foreshadowing of the kidney itself. We then immediately jump over, as you mentioned, to now the school conference. And it's got the principal, one of the school, I'm assuming like student CEOs, superintendents or whatever, deans, whatever you want to call them, different people there. And they are questioning Mr. Garrison and advising him that while he's not fired, that he should take some time off. As he, of course, has got questionable history teaching lessons where the students don't even know what Sam Adams is.
And Mr. Garrett's like, well, look, it doesn't even matter about who invented beer. I'm trying to teach history here. And then they go on to note, and then they go on to note that the principal goes on to note that, of course, that previously that he was arrested for solicitation with a child, and then that's when you said, of course, that was Mr. Hat. Oh, come on, that was Mr. Hat.
Oh, whatever.
Mr. Garrison, last week's charges of attempting to solicit sex from a minor.
That was not me. That was Mr. Hat.
I think his exact words, as we're going to cut to it, his exact words were, "Give me a break."
Oh, give me a break. That was Mr. Hat.
And they said, nevertheless, you need to take some time off. And Mr. Garrison says, ladies, gentlemen, teaching is my life. I don't know what I'm going to do without it. And they're like, well, what are your other passions? And he's like, well, I've always wanted to write a romance novel, I guess. Well, go take some time off to do that. So then, oh, no, that was that later. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. But so he leaves. Yeah, he leaves and goes and talks to Mr. Mackey, okay? And he's having his own therapeutic session. And Mr. Mackey's breaking it down with them on what he should do. And that's when, in the regard, what is he passionate about? He finds out his other passion is, I really like just going home and get some poontang. So trying to cover up.
I think he just says, poontang.
What do you love most besides teaching? Yes, poontang. Okay.
Poontang.
Well,
what are your other passions? Okay. Poontang. Okay. So he explains that he likes to, of course, go home and make hot love to a chick, a lady. So Mr. Mackey suggests he writes a romance novel. So that's what Mr. Garrison's off to do with his subplot. Now, meanwhile, back with the boys, Stan, as we have now mentioned, goes and visits Kyle because Kyle was not in class. As the substitute mentions that we've got to send him a get well card. Well, they end up dressing up Butters. I don't appreciate in this scene that they use Butters as the patsy because Pip was sitting there, front row, right to the right.
I had the same exact thought. I was like, why didn't they use Pip?
Should use Pip. Unless the only reason why I can think that they use Butters in that regard is they actually like Butters. So he's kind of like their patsy because they like him. You know what I'm saying? He's their kick around guy. It's kind of like, you can't fuck with our Butters. He's our Butters. Only we can fuck with our Butters kind of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, think about it later in the breakdancing contest. All right, is anybody mad that Butters ends up killing all those people again? No, because South Park won. So, like, that's their Butters. So, like, everyone knows he's Butters. That's him. So
that's right.
But still, I agree. Pip, fuck Pip. Anyway. Yep. So Stan decides to go visit Kyle because Kyle's not in class, and he brings along Butters. Butters does a song. Stan tries to convince Kyle, look, dude, you can stop faking it. We got a substitute teacher. And they find out that Kyle is really sick. Sheila mentions that Kyle has diabetes and has failing kidneys. I feel bad for Kyle because he's going to get messed up a lot here, from failing kidneys to diabetes to having a hemorrhoid that almost kills him to being Cartman's bitch and getting farted on. Do you like yummy, 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 yummy? Can I have some more farts, please, in my mouth? Yummy, yummy. The red ginger cow. So that being said, Kyle is going to take a lot of bullshit over the years, but still, he kind of deserves it after taking Cartman's kidney. But Kyle is failing. He's got a failing kidney. So this is now up to Stan, as he says we should help him. But it's brought up by Stan's mother that they should go visit Misinformation, who is the head of holistic healing. So they go to visit the Holistic Healing Center, okay? And it's some like lady, and you know, she's selling bullshit to them. Stan's being a smart ass. She even comments, Stanley, what did I say about being a smart ass? Don't be a smart ass.
Stanley, what did I say about being a smart ass?
Don't be a smart ass?
And this is another like fuck me moment where it's like, when they said her name, misinformation, and they're like, "Oh, she has to know things." I'm like, "Oh my god, it's so stupid."
It's so stupid.
It's misinformation. She's misinformed, you dumbass.
Right? Misinformation. So she says that Kyle's illness is being caused by mysterious toxins in his system. She prescribes a series of herbal medicines to him, and though they actually make his condition even worse, she convinces them each time gradually that that's it's working. He's like throwing up his toxins, so that's actually helping him. He's healing him, but not in an immediate, apparent way. That's how you know that's working. And of course, soon the whole town becomes enamored with her remedies and buys tons and tons of products. So much so that we get two Native Americans, I'm using quotes, two Native Americans as guest stars. They're played by and modeled after I would say, top 5, definitely top 5, no argument, top 10 stoners of all time, Cheech and Chong, as they are guest stars. Yeah, man. On the show, and their own voices and everything.
Oh yeah. Here, this is a dream catcher.
Oh, a dream catcher. I'll buy one. Me too.
Yeah, these here are Cherokee hair tampons. They're like tampons made with all natural hair from the Cherokee people. Oh yeah, we love the earth, man.
Oh yeah, the earth is great.
Oh sure, we can do that, man. We'll give them like a brain enema or something.
Not depicted in any bad way, really. Just the stoner fucking guys. It's great. So they continue to sell products to the town. Like the town thinks because that they're Native American that their products are all natural. I got this. Their dream catcher, man. And so like it's not a dream catcher, and it's just like a hanger with some duct tape on it. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, man, I got these Cherokee hair pumps there, man." So and it's just hair bundled up with what looks like, I'm assuming, a rubber band. So much so that they even cut to an inbuilt commercial. It's a lady and her daughter, and the daughter goes, "Mom, you ever feel like you're not fresh down there?" And then the mom's like, "Oh yeah, honey, all the time." And then she goes, "No, Mom, I mean, sometimes I just feel like the floodgates are opening." And the mom goes, "Oh, I definitely understand. But let me ask you a question." "What's that, Mom?" "What's the most absorbent thing in all the world?" And the daughter goes, "Cherokee hair. But what does that have to do with anything?" "Well, now we can. Cherokee hair tampons." So she introduces Cherokee hair tampon scoop as a way to profit and sell these all-natural Cherokee hair tampons. This was a real commercial. I don't think I can put it on YouTube because YouTube would probably give us a copyright for that. Which brings me to what I was alluding to earlier, Scoop. I put up our video. It's still blocked right now as I continue to check.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And it's blocked because initially the reason why is that it had a song on there, okay? And the song was from last week's episode. You go back and watch the episode when they're doing the whole Benny Hill Scooby-Doo thing where they're running in and out of rooms. There's an underlying song that goes like, diddle, 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 right? It's that song. Well, I had left that 20 seconds in, and they blocked us. They blocked and took down the whole video. So what did I do per their request? I edited it, and then I trimmed out the segment, and guess what? It was still blocked. Okay, fair enough. I'll take it down, I'll remove it, and I'll re-upload it. Guess what? Still blocked. Okay, I'll tell you what. Take it down again. This time I'll change the file name just to make fucking sure it's a brand new file. Blocked again. Now I have to dispute it. So that's where we're at, people. So if you're watching episode 55 or 56, I'm sorry, I appreciate it. If you haven't got to watch it because YouTube is still not giving us what we want, then we might need to consider jumping over to Vimeo or something. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Daily Motion or BitChute. I don't know. I'm just saying. So as mentioned in the subplot, Mr. Garrison, after having been fired from the school, takes up a new career as a romance novelist, Scoop, and he writes a novel entitled The Valley of Penises. And goes, He goes to Harlequin Romance, which is a takeoff of Harlequin Romance, to get it published. So in the build up to this, as they're cutting to him every time he's writing this, initially he gets writer's block when he gets to descriptions about women. But whenever he talks about the floppy penis or strong penis standing in the woods like trees, he's very descriptive and able to talk about the penis, even so much so that he masturbates to his own erotica. Well, eventually he takes this book.
They presented themselves tall and mighty all around her with, Mr. Hat, what the hell are you doing? Oh, Mr. Hat.
To try and get it published. And inside the book, it says the word penis 6,083 times. And the publisher guy's like, we can't print this because this is one of the gayest books ever written. And like, Mr. Garrison's like, what are you talking about? He's like, your book says the word penis 6,083 times. And he's like, yeah, so? He's like, this is what we call in the industry, gay.
Mr. Garrison, are you aware that the word penis occurs 6,083 times in your novel?
Well, I'm sure there's lots of naughty words. It is a romance novel.
No, I don't think that this book really qualifies as a romance novel.
No?
No, this is what we in the book publishing business like to call gay. Really, really gay.
What the hell are you talking about?
And he's like, gay? He's like, I don't understand. He's like, you've described, there's not much about the women and the romance. It's just about penis. And then Mr. Garrison explains, look, I've seen women read these books. They're always skimming through the story to get to the part about the penis. I'm just giving them what they want. I'm giving them the penis. And then the guy has the publisher guy has like the stroke of genius, and he goes, like, wait a minute, you might be onto something here. And I went, that is genius though. And I bet that's just probably called softcore porn when you're reading on the books. But still, like, Mr. Garrison was smart here, right? I mean, he wrote a book that he understood what women would want. So because of this, he ends up securing himself a publishing deal. So we'll get back to that here momentarily. But Stan, not trusting misinformation's medicine, goes to inquire with Doctor, that's literally his name, Doctor, over the matter. The doctor tells him that, Kyle will die unless someone who else has AB negative blood type donates one of their kidneys. Stan says, he'll do it. He's my best friend. I don't care if it hurts. The doctor says, well, there's only one compatible donor. It's Eric Cartman. And Stan's like, oh, fuck. Fuck. Stan tries to convince the public that misinformation's medicines and healing techniques are not really effective, to which she insists that Doctor is only after money, unlike herself. He's in the store and Stan's like trying to convince them, hey, like, look, Kyle really needs to go to the doctor. He's having a hard time, and misinformation is like, oh, don't listen to that. You can't go to the doctor. He wants to charge you, even though she ends up charging $100 minimum per item, as she charges like $237 for stuff. So right.
And for like a meeting too.
Right. Misinformation. Deposits. Misinformation basically wants to get money too, and she's trying to blame the doctor, saying that they don't do that, but she's doing the exact same thing. So there's your irony there. And that's true. Like, if you watch, I'm not saying there aren't good people who are trying to do stuff, but there's this show on Netflix. I don't know I forget the title of it. It's a series. It has to do with holistic medicine and all that stuff. It's like a 7 to 10 part series. I don't know if there's going to be another season, but it's on there. Go check it out. They explore different industries of the health and natural holistic industry. Some of them are very corrupt. Some of them aren't. So I'm just saying, in her case, she was. So at this point, Stan, now upset, he goes, all right, I guess I got to go and try to go talk to Cartman. So he goes to Cartman and asks Cartman, look, will you donate one of your kidneys? But as he's asking him, like, he's trying to, like, muster up the courage, eventually Cartman's like, why don't you go ahead and ask me what you want to ask me, Stan? Why you gonna ask me what you ask me? And so Stan asks him, and as soon as he asks him, Cartman goes, no, 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 no. No. So Stan's like, you're a dick, dude. And Cartman's like, look, I'll give him one of my kidneys for $10 million.
$10 million.
Stan's like, dude, I don't have that type of money. And Carmen's like, sounds like 10 times ticking up. 10, tick tock, tick tock. Then you gotta find a way to get that money.
One of your friends is going to die. Don't you see how serious this is? Well, perhaps I could see my way to giving up a kidney for a price. Oh my God! How much? I don't know. How much is your life worth to you, Kyle? Carmen, you are so going to hell when you die. Yes, well, until then, I need about $10 million. What the hell would you do with $10 million, fat ass? What I intend to do with the money is not an issue, is it? I suggest you start looking for that money quickly. Kyle doesn't seem to have much time. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Stan, now pissed, tries to round up the rest of the boys in town to try and take Cartman's kidney. And he's only able to get Butters. Ta-da! So Stan, Kenny, Butters, and Timmy sneak into Cartman's house and try to remove one of his kidneys himself. Now, as they're breaking in, they sneak past Fluffy, who actually does wake up, who's woken up by Butters stepping on his tail. Cartman comes out half asleep, punches Fluffy in the face as it squeals and walks past. Even though Butters loudly says, "Oh, we're fucked. Yeah, I guess we're boned." No, hopefully we're not.
We gotta get out of here, guys.
Not that, then. As Cartman goes back to sleep, they try to break in as they're reading how to do this and remove his kidney. Well, they go to break in and they go to, like, saw, and they lift up Cartman's shirt, and he's got a kidney blocker 2000.
No way! Kidney blocker 2000? What? Oh, Stan and Butters, trying to take my kidney, are you? You suck, Cartman. Maybe so, but at least I was smart enough to wear kidney blocker 2000. God damn it, don't you care that Kyle is gonna die? I do care. Look how much. Look how much I care.
And they're like, "Oh, son of a bitch." And Cartman then immediately wakes up. He's like, wait. I see you're trying to take my kidney.
Trying to take my kidney.
And Stan's like, "Oh, son of a bitch, Cartman." And he's like, "Yeah, well, it's a good thing I got my kidney blocker 2000. So, unfortunately for Stan, Cartman does not give up his kidney then. So now the following day, Kyle's mom brings Kyle, who is now on the verge of death as a result of misinformation's ineffective treatments, to the Native Americans for a quote-unquote personal appointment. However, after taking just a simple glance at them, the Native Americans, quote-unquote, tell her that, "Hey, man, you should probably take him to see a doctor."
Yeah, you should take him to see a real doctor.
And confused, Mrs. Broflaxley points out that they're supposedly more in touch with the earth, and Sharon tells the Native Americans that they trust that they know what they're doing. But after one more good look at Kyle, their conscience gets the better of them, and they finally spill the beans to Mrs. Broflaxley and the rest of the customers, saying that Kyle really needs to see a doctor about his condition, also revealing that misinformation is a total fraud, that they aren't even Native American, they're Mexican. And when they did that, it was fucking hysterical. You just see one guy, because he got sold the Native American ball juice or whatever it is. So now he immediately spits it out and he goes, "Puh!" And then he throws down the bottle, and then you just hear some chick in the background.
No, man, that kid needs a doctor. And besides, we're not actually Native Americans. I mean, I'm more like a Mexican.
What?
Yeah, a Mexican.
Oh my God!
How dare you deceive us like that?
Hey, we never said we're Native Americans, man. Misinformation said that.
Yeah, she said nobody would buy anything from Mexicans.
Oh man, that was a hilarious scene. So, misinformation thought that no one would buy medicine from Mexicans. That's the Native American. So she lied.
She lied.
So now that Stan knows this, he's like, "Can we please take Kyle to the hospital?" And Mrs. Brofelsky's like, "That's fine, but we don't have a donor." And Stan's like, "If you all help me, I got a plan." So the next day, Cartman awakens to find that his kidney blocker has been destroyed, and there's a thick red liquid all over his bed. So he heads over to Stan's house, and Stan tells him that they took the kidney with the help of his mom. And Cartman says, "No, give me back my kidney. It's my kidney because it's mine." So he takes the kidney, he marches over to the hospital, demanding they return the kidney to his rightful place. However, the doctor and Leanne have cooked up a sting operation for Cartman to sign a release to give his kidney to Kyle. and that Leanne herself had opened up the locker and put ketchup in his bed to trick him into thinking that they had removed his kidney. Cartman then signed a release form, which actually permits Kyle to take his kidney. And of course, it is never revealed right away where the kidney where Cartman took from Stan came from, but it can be assumed the doctor gave it to him. We're talking about the other kidney, by the way, like the fake kidney that Stan gives to Cartman and he's running around with. Kyle then makes a quick recovery. Mr. Garrison comes in. He's like, here's my brand new book, Kyle. I want you to have it as gifts, a signed copy, The Valley of the Penises. And Kyle's like, thanks. And he announces he's not coming back because he's a rich another number one author. So Cartman is initially angry at being tricked into losing his kidney, especially since it saved Kyle's life. Kyle laughs. He squirts out the milk, and then Cartman laughs and goes, good, you got the crappy kidney.
Oh, here's everybody.
Hey, Mr. Garrison, where have you been?
Boys, I have an announcement to make. I'm not going to be your teacher anymore. I've become a best-selling author, and Kyle, I want you to have a signed copy as a get-well present.
Oh, thanks. Seriously, I'm gonna kill you guys! Careful, Cartman, you might pop your stitches. What the? Oh, good, you got the crappy kidney.
To Kyle, and that's how the episode ends. And now, we're gonna get into...
What did Kenny say?
What can I say? What can I say? Yeah. What did Kenny say, folks? We got a nice short one here for you. Kenny had a couple scenes where he had some lines where he has some complaints about the fact that Stan is grieving over Kyle's potential death, and no one ever usually grieves over him. Other than that, though, Kenny has some very vague lines such as no, and yeah. But we're going to go over the scenes here. So the first one here is he's playing with Cartman before Stan comes in to ask for the kidney. And Kenny's like, pew, pew, pow. And he crashes the ship into a soldier. Cartman then says, coming in for attack, Captain. Pew. And then he goes, give me space, Kenny. And Kenny's like, no. And Cartman's like, come on, Kenny, you got to give me a space cruiser. And then he tries to pull the cruiser out of his hands so I can destroy the Garrison. And then Kenny gets up and he says, stop, no, it's mine, as he pulls the cruiser back. There, it's mine, as the boys tug the ship in opposite directions and the doorbell rings. Now Cartman goes, yeah, it's mine! And then the ship breaks in two with Kenny getting the short end. And he goes, ha ha, I bet your space cruiser, Kenny, ha ha ha. And then he goes, blah, blah, blah. And then Stan comes to the door and his mom says, looks like your little friends are here. You have more little friends here to play. And Cartman's like, okay, man. And Stan goes, dude, one of your friends is going to die. Don't you see how serious this is? After he explains to Cartman about the kidney, and Kenny goes, muffled, it's not that fucking serious, as he coughs twice. And then Cartman's like, well, perhaps I can see my way to giving up my kidney for a pass. And then Stan's like, oh my God. Kyle's like, who's there with him? He goes, how much? Cartman says, I don't know. How much is your life worth to you, Kyle? And Stan's like, Cartman, you are so going to hell when you die. And Cartman's like, yes, but until then, I need about $10 million. And Kenny's like, I need about $10 million. Kenny's like, $10 million?
I think we all could use like, $10 million.
Yeah, right. Stan's like, what the hell would you do with $10 million, fat ass? Well, I tell you, with the money is not an issue, is it? I suggest you start looking for that money quickly. Kyle doesn't seem to have much time now, does he? Say, Kyle, and then Stan says, come on, Kyle, let's get out of here. And Cartman's like, okay, where were we, Kenny? They continue on. Now, later on, Stan crying about Kyle potentially dying. This is on the curb. They're both sitting outside. And Stan says, there's nothing more I can do, Kenny. I've tried everything to save Kyle. Holistic medicine is going to kill my friend. And Kenny's like, you never seem to care when I die. And Stan's like, my friend is going to die. He's going to die. There's nothing I can do about it. And then he begins to sob. And he says, oh, God, my best friend. And Kenny's like, well, now that does it. I've had just about enough of this bullshit. Screw you, Stan. I'm going home. So he starts to walk away. And above him, a man is holding a piano, but realizes the ropes are tearing, and the mover goes, "Look out!" And then the mover he lets go of the piano as it snaps from the ropes and crushes Kenny. And he says, "Oops!" And then Stan goes, I'll never see Kyle again." So Kenny never gets a, "Oh my God, you killed Kenny. We killed Kenny. We bastards." In this episode.
And that's what Kenny said.
All right, Scoot, why don't you go ahead and take us into some trivia, and then I'll read the continuity stuff that they did here for us.
So, all right. Although the blood type AB negative is the rarest blood type, comprising 0.6% of the population of the United States, individuals with this blood type can receive blood from anyone with Rh negative blood. That is A negative, B negative, AB negative, and O negative. An estimated 15% of the population possesses these blood types. Additionally, blood type alone is not sufficient for determining compatibility for kidney transplants, as HLA compatibility also plays a role. I'm AB negative. Comedy duo Cheech and Chong guest star in this episode. Although their voices were recorded separately, this episode was first time.
So you can save Cartman's life?
Yeah.
Proud of you. Okay, go ahead. Cheech and Chong, sorry, go ahead.
So, although their voices were recorded separately, this episode was the first time they had worked on anything together in several years following their breakup. A few years later, they reunited. Now, were they like feuding with each other, or were they just kind of just like chilling and gone different ways?
I think they kind of gone different ways for a little bit, because what had happened was, if I recall, Cheech Marin kind of got tired of doing the weed stuff. And if you notice, between the late 90s, early 2000s, he was doing some more comedy and other serious roles in other movies, one-off B movies and TV shows. So he was trying to be taken more seriously as another actor and was trying to get rid of the weed thing. Meanwhile, Chong was like, "Fuck that, dude. We're the kings of weed. Like, we need to be raking in on this shit, right?" But
it's true.
From Cheech's perspective, at that point, the market itself wasn't as good as it is now, right? So let's say in 2020. So from his perspective, he saw it as an illegal product that wasn't going to make him as much money. So I think there was that dispute. So I think it was more like just two best friends arguing with each other because one wanted to do one thing with their career and one wanted to keep doing a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of had a falling out a little bit. Nothing personal more than that, business-wise, which is why they were able to come back, obviously, because they realized that business and bullshit. And then eventually, I'm assuming Cheech's acting career didn't take off as much as it should have. And he came back to Chong. Was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. It's okay, man. Let's get high, bro." And then, like, everything was fine. So there you go. Continue on, though, right about Kenny as before he dies.
Right before Kenny dies, he says a few lines to Stan in anger. Though the lines are muffled, as always, they can be made out to be, "It's not that fucking serious. You don't seem to care when I die," and a variation of Cartman's line. That's it. I've had enough of this bullshit. Screw you guys. Screw you guys. He also does the hand gesture Cartman does and walks away.
Great.
After he dies, Stan seems indifferent and continues crying over Kyle, putting some truth into what he said. Because he was just like, "Oh, I'll never see Kyle again."
Right.
And the Comedy Central promos for this episode, Cartman says that he plans on making Britney Spears his love slave with the $10 million he gets for Kyle's kidney. In the actual episode, Cartman says that what he intends to do with the money isn't an issue, because all that matters is that Stan gets the money before Kyle dies.
Isn't it interesting that they cut that out of the episode?
Yeah. When Cartman
What are they trying to
refuses,
say?
what?
Is
Yeah,
Britney
what?
Spears potting fade for? Oh, wow, 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 wow.
So when Cartman refuses to donate a kidney to Kyle, he sings no to the tune of "Comedy Tonight" from A Funny Thing Happened on the way to the forum.
No, 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 no.
When misinformation visits Kyle, he throws up on the floor, and she says it's simply the toxins leaving his body. Stan disagrees and said it's the bean with bacon soup Kyle ate half an hour earlier. Kyle is Jewish, and Jews can't eat bacon because bacon is not kosher.
Boom!
Got him! I didn't know it was bean and bacon. I thought he said bean and lentil or something. I don't know. Lydia Cordelia, South Park sound engineer, appeared as the Cherokee with super absorbent hair in the light.
That's what you're talking about, yeah. The Cherokee hair tampon commercial.
We all know that Cherokee hair is 3 times more absorbent or 10 times more absorbent than fuck. Cherokee people are like, this is what happens to our people.
Fuck these guys.
Cartman has a problem with his kidney that makes milk come out of his nose. He laughs too hard. As of this episode, though, Kyle has the problem since he got the crappy kidney.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You got the crappy kidney.
Yeah. You got the crappy kidney. Mr. Garrison's mother and father from Worldwide Recorder Concert can be seen in a photo frame in his room while he writes his novel. When the substitute teacher introduces himself, the letters on the alphabet are out of place. The uppercase letters go accordingly, starting with A, but the lowercase letters go backwards, starting from C.
So capital would be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and lowercase goes, Z, Y, X backwards, and so on, W. You know what I'm saying?
When the substitute teacher gives the name roll call, Cartman refers to himself Kenny. He was previously known as Kenny in the Spirit of Christmas, Jesus First Frosty, and will later be the host of Kenny Soul.
Latter
when the scales build their ladders. 9/11, 9/11, 9/11.
I mean, that last thing.
Mr. Garrison uses Ethan F. Garrison as his pen name.
That's his author name. All right, let's get to some continuity here. Now, the episode reveals that both Kyle and Cartman's blood type are AB negative. In this episode, it is revealed that, of course, Kyle is diabetic. Also, this episode marks the second appearance of Cartman's pig Fluffy, as the only time Fluffy had appeared prior was in season 1 episodes, An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig. Hopefully, by the time you listen or hear this episode, our feed issues are resolved. If not, all the episodes are technically available on Spreaker, so they are there, and some different platforms that we submitted not through them, so you technically might be able to get it, but hopefully by then it's resolved. That being said, you can go back and listen to our season 1 review on audio only of The Elephant Makes Love to a Pig. Kenny is shown to be aware of his tendency to die, of course, in this episode, after saying that a friend dying is not that fucking serious and getting annoyed and stands concerned for Kyle. Of course, he had been previously shown to be at least vaguely aware that the end of Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh that was ultimately confirmed in Mysterion Rises later on.
Now, do you think Kenny saying that it's not that big of a fucking deal is kind of like him saying, well, if he dies, he'll be back?
He believes that maybe because it happens to him.
Right. And
so maybe he thinks it's more or less natural that he's dying and his friends dying wouldn't be a big deal because he somehow thinks that maybe right now, till he finds out later, maybe he thinks as of now in the show that the boys are somehow caught in a time loop in which they never age. Kenny may be aware of that, thinking the fact that he has now died and been reborn 52 times. It'll be 53, but 52 times as of this episode. And, what can you say after that? So he probably thinks that everybody is just in a time loop, him and his close friends. That's probably why he's thinking it's not a big fucking deal.
Right.
That would be my guess.
Some
if we were going to analyze the character, right? So when Mr. Weiland, that substitute teacher, says that he knows some students enjoy substitute teachers or enjoy annoying substitute teachers, that is, Cartman points toward Craig. I thought that was funny. Like he just pointed right toward Craig. Cartman had previously maintained that Craig is a troublemaker in Tweakber's grades.
You
You lack a discipline. You lack a discipline. You have a very strong ass there, Robinson. Mr. Garrison gets laid off, if you will, over the events of the episode, or suspended. Cartman joins Nambla over the last episode of Cartman joins Nambla, I'm sorry. He does not come back to school until 4th grade, later in the season as the kindergarten teacher, which we'll talk about later. It does not start to teach in the 4th grade until 2 seasons later in season 6, which we'll get to that too. But Mr. Garrison's best-selling novel, Valley of the Penises, later won the Gay Pulitzer Prize, which is revealed by Mr. Mackey in 4th grade. So we are getting close to the 4th grade. We're also getting we're very close to, in my opinion, the greatest episode of South Park all time. But before we get there, Scoop, before we finish up this podcast, tell me some of your top moments you liked.
So my number one is when Kenny gets up and I'm tired of this bullshit. And then the piano falling on him, and then Stan giving that reaffirmation of what Kenny just said is totally true.
Yeah, my top moment would have to be first off, Cartman going no, and them asking for his kidney. That was the first thing I thought was hilarious. Second thing being him having kidney blocker 2000. Yeah, it's a good thing I got kidney blocker 2000, huh? I thought that was a nice little touch. Let's see.
Yeah, I like the kidney blocker too. I thought that was funny.
As far as anything else I really like, we could talk about Mr. Garrison for a moment. I do like that they, while yes, firing him as a teacher, still kept him strong as a side character here by letting the audience know, yes, right now he's not teaching, but we're going to do something else with him. And they kind of evolved him as a character even more in this episode. I think this is where we really, we had seen, brief hints of him in jail or talking about in a flashback, or, he goes home and wants to be raped by his dad when he gets raped by Kenny G. So we have seen those brief bits and moments of his homosexuality here. But after writing the penis, 6,000, 8,000 times, I think it was pretty clear in this episode that he is 100% gay, and that's okay. But I think we really got that evolution of Mr. Garrison. Mr. Garrison here in this episode. So I really like that. Getting to our top disliked, I'm going to start with that. I didn't like the fact that they stole Cartman's kidney here.
Yeah.
Because I get, obviously it saves Kyle, but I don't like the fact that they get away with doing it, that there's not really any ramifications for it, at least right now. And then later on, when Cartman does eventually get his revenge back, they don't really cite this as an example ever again.
Right.
So, it's kind of like a lost footnote in the annals of South Park history.
Yeah, a little bit. It would have been kind of, maybe they felt like they could have started to beat like a dead horse or something, or it could just be like, oh, they're talking about the kidney again. And yeah, I don't know, because just like some of the way that they go back to things.
I was gonna say South Park is usually good at referencing prior history, and this is one of if not their first seasons where they agree they actually like this season. Because if you go back and read their comments, they say if they could get rid of seasons 1 through 3, they would. That they feel like season 4 is where they really start to write good and make great content. Where
the continuity, one can argue, is that the continuity kind of starts here. Because, Kyle does start shooting milk out of his nose for a while, doesn't he?
I don't know. Where you find out. I guess we'll remember here. Yeah. But I do want to say that you're right from the Garrison standpoint, as we talked about for the last couple episodes, if you listen every week, the meta-ness of the arc within the arc here. So now we've got this arc that's technically started last week with Mr. Garrison. This is episode 2 of it. There's going to be another episode 3, but we're not going to get that for another 2 to 3 episodes, I want to say, because we have to have 4th grade first. Once we have 4th grade, that's when we're going to get the reveal of Mr. Garrison being gay. So then once we get that, that's the story arc within the arc. And that's more continuity as now the boys move up to the 4th grade too, right?
Hi, kids. I miss chokes on dick.
Yeah, we get missed jokes. So we'll get that later this season. That's coming up. But that's our top likes. I guess you say dislikes. As far as your top, I'm going to go ahead and say this is my top 100. I would put this in my top 100.
Same. Definitely. Top 100 for me as well.
Okay.
It's a great episode.
It's a great episode. It's decent. Cheech and Chong.
A lot of my season.
This that reason alone, Cheech and Chong.
Spoiler alert for this season. A lot of season 4 is in my top 100. So.
Yeah, me too. Well, in 2 episodes, I think we're gonna get to, or it could be next. What is it? This is episode 6.
I think it's the next one. Finger bang. What you can do with your finger.
My favorite one next. I think that's coming up next. Yes, that is my favorite episode.
Girl, oh girl, oh girl.
Randy is just hilarious in this too. Lost my job. Say it. No, I'm sorry. The next one is Chef.
Nanners.
Yeah, we're 2 away. It's Chef Goes Nanners is next, which I think is going to be a very good one because that's relevant to what's going on in society right now too, about flags and stuff like that. Right. And then, of course, we will get to something you can do with your finger. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us on another edition at Check Ma Bows. And this is of course, as we mentioned, the 6th episode of season 4, the 54th episode overall, our 57th. We appreciate you listening. Thanks for coming back each and every week for your reviews of South Park. And for new listeners on new platforms, as we just moved to Spreaker, we definitely appreciate you if you hit that like, that subscribe button, whatever platform you're on, leave a review. If you also have iTunes and specifically even more Spotify, follow us there on our Spotify feed. Just type in Suck My Balls. Follow us there. All of our episodes are up there as well. And you can be a subscriber because that's where we're getting a lot of our downloads. About 50-60% of our people have Spotify. So thank you, Spotify listeners. But if you are listening through us other platforms, or as well as our sponsors, Rat Salad Review, Hami Media Group, and the R&R Podcast Network. I'm your host on the scene where the air is clean. I'm Lighting Up Green, your boy MSG. Hopefully I won Producer of the Year. Hopefully Suck My Balls won Affiliate of the Year. You know what I'm going to do, actually, Scoop? Today's December the 31st. I'll wait. And if we win, I'll come back in here and I'll edit something that says that we won. But if we did not win, then I guess I won't edit anything. And that's the only time we're ever going to talk about this again. But hopefully we won. And with somebody won something. Maybe I won something. Maybe Ian won something. Maybe the podcast won something. But we appreciate listening to you. I'm MSG. Time out, Scoop. And for Dirty JV, we love you. Welcome to 2021, bitches. Let's rock and roll. Check my out.
Year, you know?
Check my out. Check my out.
Check
my out.
What is that?
It's my phone.
God damn it, Carmen!
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?
Holy shit, dude.